Got me screaming. I popped another. Got me screaming. I popped another. Yeah, I'm too legit. Probably make you quit. Nickel might blitz. QB getting hit. I'm out here giving fits. Defense held a lit. Gunslinger. Dead eye. Boy. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? You guys are tuned in to the Madden Underground podcast. I got my guys with me. I got B Guard in the building, Philly guy in the building, Snipes in the building. What's good, fellas?
What's going on? What's going on?
Ready, ready.
Ah
Yes,
man, we
sir.
last days of the beta, man. How you guys feeling?
Man, I could say first, if I'm allowed to go first here.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
can say this is probably the best beta that I've played. And all the betas that I've played, throughout the years or whatever. It's probably the best beta that I've played. There's still a lot of things that obviously need to be kind of addressed and everything else. But obviously it's a beta, so we have to have that understanding of that. But but again, I think it's a fantastic product that we may have. I haven't been excited like that this for Madden for a while, so
I would agree.
I'm pretty excited about next gen Madden. That is, I don't know anything obviously about the current gen or what's
You
going
don't-
to happen with
just
them.
be
or
honest,
whatever.
you don't care
Right.
to know about anything
No,
in
I
regards to
don't.
the current gen Madden.
Not even a little bit. I have a console. I'm good. So that's what I'm rocking. I'm rocking the next gen Madden. I'm happy about it, and I'm looking forward to August 17th, man. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be something to look forward
Man.
to. What about you, B Guard?
Man.
I played it. I think I played it the least out of everybody in here, but I'm optimistic about it. I'm optimistic. Like I got some hope for this. Like I don't want to get too high on it, but I enjoyed it. I think the home field thing, getting a lot of talk on Twitter. I kind of like it. I kind of do.
Mm-hmm.
Like home field means something, especially like with a CFM or maybe even regs. Like if comp players don't want it in, I can see why. But I think they're gonna have like a neutral field for comp, regardless. But I like the home field. Like I think that's a neat little feature that they brought in.
Yeah, I think that as well, man. I'm looking forward to it. The official version, I should say. I'm looking forward to that for sure. But what about you, Philly? What do you think about it?
Well, I mean, you know how I feel about it. We've talked about this for quite some time. So I'm looking forward to the official version. Everything that Snipes and B-Guard hit on. I mean, I feel very strongly about it. I enjoyed it. I like the new features. The transparency has been great. I can't wait for August 17th, man. Actually, I take that back. I can't wait for the ratings to be released. Let me back that up. I can't wait for the ratings to be released, um, and then the game to be released.
Yeah, that's definitely something that I think everybody's looking forward to. Um, the main thing is the ratings release. I know because the beta doesn't have the ratings. Of course, I know people have been leaking little things and post little things on YouTube, but the beta doesn't have the ratings. They definitely don't have the rookies and definitely the second year players. And I think some of even the veterans are just numbers that they've thrown together. But yeah, so if you're thinking that these are the real ratings and you're feeling yourself because of whatever your team is doing on this beta, when the game come out, you might be in for a rude awakening.
Yeah.
Just to keep that in mind. But like I said, I love the beta. The beta's been fun. It's been a great change of pace. I've been playing current gen all year, and I played a little bit of next gen, and I actually was enjoying that. And then they announced the beta like I think about the same month I started playing next gen. So it was like, oh wow, and then it came out. So transitioning to that, it's been like a new game to me. So I've been having fun with it. In my personal opinion, if you didn't get a beta code, play next gen if you want to know what's up. There's a lot of new features in the game that aren't in the current, Madden 21 version of next gen, but you can kind of have a feel. Like that gave me a feel for the game going into it. I had a better feel of the game going into it after playing next gen, opposed to playing current gen going into that. It's kind of shock value is a big thing when you go from current gen to next gen. So I recommend anybody going from current gen to next gen, plan on doing so if they got a next gen console and they don't have a beta code, to actually try to mess with Madden 21 on next gen.
You know what? You're saying it just so smooth and so simple. But I mean, look, let's be real. Okay, you've been trying to help people get consoles as long as I can remember. You've been trying to help
Man.
people get beta codes. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You've been trying to help people get ready. And if you don't have the beta code, if you don't have a next gen system, and you think that you're gonna hit the ground running when August 17th gets here, it ain't gonna happen.
Yep.
It ain't gonna happen. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Like I said, Brian, you've been preaching for a very long time now, and a lot of people missed out on the beta, and a lot of people just don't understand the difference between the current gen and the next gen. So, you know, we hit this time in August. You ain't even gonna have to say I told you so.
No, no.
You ain't gonna have to say that.
I
You
gave
ain't gonna say that.
I gave everybody ample time, ample notice to get prepared. A lot of people in the league, especially in our leagues, I've been actually trying to point people in the direction of consoles. Like I know I have like a good, good insight and good plugs on consoles. So if people are looking for consoles, I generally know where to find them or know where they're gonna pop up at. I just need your zip code, So um, if that's something anybody's hit me up, inbox me on Twitter, inbox me on Facebook, inbox me on wherever you can catch me at. But yeah, if you're looking for consoles, it depends on what your pocket's like. Sometimes it might be regular price depending on what area you in. But definitely they're not that hard to find. PS5s on the other hand, they're not hard to find, but nobody wants to pay the price that they're going for when you find them. So that's the thing.
I'll say it. I'll say it right now because you got a lot of guys that are in our PS5 leagues and everything as well too. And I'll say it right now. You're going to be hard pressed to find a PS5, and I'm talking about a disc version. You're going to be hard pressed to find a PS5, even if you go on OfferUp and it's brand new. You're going to be hard pressed to find one anything cheaper than $750.
Yeah.
Anything
My
cheaper
Lord.
than that.
Yeah.
A digital version, you're gonna pay probably at the very max $50 less than the other one. So nothing less than 700 because they're just those things are scarce. The digital versions are scarce.
Yeah.
That's why they're up there in price like that. Even though it's a $400 console, they asking for a $300 increase because it's so damn scarce. The digital versions are extremely scarce.
Yeah,
You could find the other ones a lot more than you can the digital version.
And like I said, I recommend, like I said, if you offer up as a source, I know Walmart got them and they even upcharging on them.
Yep.
Because I think those are resale. Amazon has them for resale too. People that purchase them and reselling them on those platforms. But yeah, if you looking for a PS5, if you in Cali,
Yeah, Walmart I see has them at $900.
yeah,
right
they
now.
upcharging them right now. So everybody's upcharging. It's just what are you willing to pay and what's your pockets like. And if you ain't got it, go get you a Xbox Series S. And it's tough out here. It's hard out here, man. Not gonna lie, I paid $1,300 for my PS5, brand new. Yeah, I feel you on that. It's definitely you're not gonna that's a deal. At one point in time, $1,300 was a deal. Cause I think I sold the maximum price I've sold a PS5 for was $2,000, and that was when I realized nobody had them, and you could just tell somebody like they were like, bro, I heard you had them. I'm like 2,000. Let me get back to you, and they'll go look around and nobody really has them, and then you'll send them a picture like, let me know, man. A lot of people want it, and then boom, your Cash App going off 2,000 cents, and then you sending off a PS5 to somebody, but. The market is crazy out here for next-gen consoles. If you got them, be thankful you have them. If you don't have them, I'm sure they'll come out soon. I know the Madden guys are like, oh, you guys, Madden is the most procrastinating community in gaming ever. We all know that. Madden guys are going to procrastinate. They're going to wait. Because they're going to listen to other Madden guys who ain't got the pockets to go get it. You know what I mean? It's a lot of dudes who say, oh, man, I heard next gen was trash anyway. In reality, they ain't never played it, never seen it. They ain't even got the money to go get one. And a lot of people listen to those type of cats and didn't get it. And now, here it is. They dropped the beta. Everything was catered to next gen. And a lot of people were left out. So, with that being said, if you got the money, man, you got access to one, get it while you can. because it's a possibility that they won't come out in stores like to where everybody will be able to get them until after January. that's like a serious possibility right now. So, like I said, I recommend everybody, if they got it, try to get it. So, I don't know, but let's get into other topics. You know, EA released the real, what is it? The dynamic. What was it, Philly? What they released yesterday? The dynamic.
The dynamic. It was. I thought it was dynamic gameplay.
Dynamic gameplay.
Didn't I mean it was just like a simple title.
Let's bring up
Wasn't
the
nothing
schedule.
special.
The schedule tells us right here. Dynamic Game Day. That's what it's called. The Dynamic Game Day was released yesterday.
Right.
Or day before yesterday.
Way to look prepared. Way to look prepared, guys.
Well, I had it right here.
Podcast.
You guys,
Professional podcast.
We were waiting for you to speak up, B-God.
yeah, you don't even have your
Professional
camera.
podcast.
You don't even have
Nope.
your camera on.
Table.
You're talking about professional. Your camera's all
You,
dark.
you know what I'm saying?
All right, professional podcast we got going on here.
So anyway,
Throwing shots from the shadow.
in the dark. But yeah, so the game day. I mean, what is it called again? The dynamic
gameplay.
No, dynamic
Dynamic
game
gameplay.
day. Game day. That's
Game
what
day.
it's
Game day.
Yeah.
Dynamic game day.
Yeah, way to be prepared, guys. Way to be prepared.
Yeah. Dynamic game day. Some may care, some may not. If you have current gen, don't think it's a feature that you should really too much care about. But if you have next gen, this is something that's very important. It's something that has the community in uproar. I've seen on Twitter, a lot of people are breaking the red button, pressing the panic button already, and they haven't even played it yet. And those that have played it, some like it, some don't like it. And but I like it personally. I like the fact that home team, like B-Guard alluded to earlier, home field advantage means something. Playing at home means something. And some of those, like I said, some of those, what they call them, M factors. I like that, M factors. They play a huge role in the game. They can actually take you out of a game if you're one of those people that are easily rattled. If you happen to hit a hot route, and you hot route a streak and it does a slant, and that rattles you, it might be something to take you out of the game, something that you may not like. If you don't like your players tired all the time, certain stadiums you go into, players will be tired. So I want to talk about that. Like, I want to go in deep in conversation with that with you guys.
Yeah.
And let's talk about that in detail because we've all had different experiences with it. Share some of you guys' experiences with that M factor experience that they added to the game.
Well, I had one. I had one where I was down at one point. It was in an online game. I was down. We was in the Meadowlands, and I was down 17-0. And the meter was all the way on the end. I forgot what team he had. He actually had the Bucks. Had their meter on the other end. My team was rattled all over the place. Everything. I started, running the ball a little bit because I was passing the ball a lot, just trying to work on the passing game a little bit. I started running the ball in the second half, getting real successful with Saquon Barkley, breaking a couple big runs, getting that meter back up. Then I got a couple hit stick fumbles and an interception. Next thing you know, it's like middle fourth quarter. I'm down 17-14. He has not scored at all, and literally in the middle of the fourth quarter, once I broke like a 30-yard gain with Kadarius Toney, and then the meter went all the way up. His guys got so tired. I kept going and hurry up. They couldn't keep up anymore, and I ended up beating the guy 31-17, and we were mid fourth quarter. And the reason why is because the
my point.
Gotta call timeout. Gotta call timeout.
You gotta call timeout.
That's the same thing I was thinking.
That's exactly what. But that's what he didn't do. He didn't do that.
Yeah, and that's,
so once he didn't do that, I'm thinking in my head too. Same thing y'all saying. Like, yo, look, this cat ain't gonna call no timeouts. All right, no huddle. Bro, I was Tony, Galloway, and Ross. Ross cooked them for the last two touchdowns I got.
Giants.
Ross cooked them for the last two touchdowns I got. It was 31-17, kind of what you call it. So it's crazy.
I'm going to go on record now and say that the Giants, if you guys ain't heard or did your research about the Giants are a problem. They are a problem.
That's
Yeah.
a sleeper team. That is a sleeper team.
They are a problem. They are clearly the best team in the NFC East right now on paper.
I still go Washington. Washington
I'm
got
gonna
that
lie,
defense. Washington got that defense.
Giants defense
I'll
not
take
that bad.
defense.
Giants defense
Yeah,
not that bad.
It ain't
defense
Washington.
ain't bad, no.
It ain't
Yeah,
Washington.
It's not that bad, bro. I'm telling you, like
It ain't Washington.
from a Madden standpoint, I'm going with Giants over the Washington. I got Washington.
Yeah, because you got two receivers. Yeah, you get the two receivers. I want a defense. I can figure out the offense.
In my opinion, the Giants secondary is better than the Washington football team secondary.
That front seven.
Man, you got to play the Giants.
You got
bro.
Sweat on one side. You got Chase Young on the other. You got some good.
You got to take away the grain of salt.
But
see, I mean, he's speaking theoretically. Right? He hasn't been in the trenches yet.
Yeah, he ain't seen it yet.
Snipes
bro.
knows.
Like
he ain't seen it yet.
I'll put it like this.
It's ignorant, bro. It's Giants.
I'll tell you what, B-Guard, I'll tell you like this, because I understand what you're saying. That, their defense is they're stacked. There's no doubt about that. But, and I'm talking about just from a Madden perspective of it. You know what I mean? When you look at what the Giants have, even with their linebackers, all their linebackers fast as hell.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They have speed. They have speed on their defense also.
So if you're gonna move, can they move?
Oh no, they can move. They can move. They can move, especially in this next gen game. They can move.
Yeah.
So if you take the Giants of Washington, they're definitely defensively give it to Washington. But if you talk about all around, if you had to pick a team, I don't know if you would go and pick Washington over the Giants.
Well, what's Tony's speed? I didn't really play with them. What's Tony's speed?
They don't have the rookie speed
they
really.
Have the numbers on there.
Yeah. They don't really have the speed up like that yet.
Yeah, and we didn't talk about that anyway if they did.
Right.
So,
right.
but no, literally. And I see people asking, do front seven matter in Madden and the new Madden? Yes, it does matter. They play a huge role in the game.
Yep. It does.
So it's definitely Giants, definitely a sleeper team for sure. One of the teams that we actually broke down. We did a breakdown of ranking the teams. The team that was ranked the lowest of all 32 teams was the Rams.
Detroit.
No, the Rams.
Nope.
The Rams. Yep.
Are they bad? They bad?
They bad.
They bad. Yeah.
What does Detroit? What about Detroit? Detroit can't be that good.
Detroit. Let me tell you what the strengths and weaknesses of Detroit. I'm gonna tell you. I ain't gonna talk about the weakness. I'm gonna talk about the strengths. They are okay at everything. That's the strength. They are okay at everything. At every position. They are okay. They're okay.
They are fine.
Yeah, they're okay at everything. Now with the Rams, they're a position that they're good at, and then they're a position that they're god awful bad at. So when you put them together,
secondary,
the
linebackers.
Oh god, it's bad. It's bad. It's bad for the Rams.
Oh, like what?
The linebackers are bad. The linebackers are bad.
Rams, they got two-man defense.
You got to think about this from a franchise standpoint. Rams suck at a lot of positions, and then on top of that, they don't have any cap space if you play them a franchise. If we're talking about franchise, they don't have any.
And no picks. No picks.
No picks either. So that's like the team you don't want to get is the Rams if you're going in a franchise because you have little to leverage and you have to leverage your stars. So that's if you want to people that don't want to leverage your stars.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, that's the team you want to avoid getting. Because you're gonna have to trade your stars, and you're gonna take a cap penalty in the process because they all got brand new contracts.
Big ass contracts.
Big cap penalties. Yeah, big contracts. Yep.
So that's something that you don't want to mess with. And this isn't even from looking at the ratings or anything from Madden. It's just looking at the roster on paper. You could just tell like you don't want those guys. Yeah, like so with going into Madden 22, I think we all should take a deep breath and prepare ourselves for war because it's going to be a hell of a game. A lot of people that weren't good at the game last year may be decent at the game this year. But I will say the guys that are great at the game could potentially be even more great at the game because there are certain elements that come into play while playing Madden franchise mode or Madden period. They've brought the user back on offense where you can get nasty with a big receiver. And that, in my opinion,
Yep.
In my opinion, like, I don't know if you guys remember the rocket catching days.
Oh
but
yeah. Oh
the-
yeah.
I don't
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you guys
Oh
remember those
yeah.
days, but those days are not
Man.
far away. They're
Man.
approaching fast, man. So if you got a user and you know how to use it, you know how to hit that strafe button and hold that Y button and get nasty with that user. If I just
Yep.
gave you a tip too, if you don't know that's how you get nasty with the receivers out there. You hit that strafe button and you hold that Y button and you let that magic happen. And if you want to
Rocket
get super,
catch is my boy.
if you want to get
Woo,
super
boy.
nasty, turn that catching on
Hey.
conservative and get the rocket catch.
Oh man.
Man.
Them dudes is grabbing and pulling them down, catching them with the body, going down, and it gets real nasty, man. Some people saying linebackers are still stuck in the mud coverage in 22. How would y'all say linebacker movement is?
It's better than 21.
It's better.
That's not saying a
It's
lot.
better
though.
than 21.
I'm gonna say
It's-
this. I'm gonna say this. There are certain linebackers that move well. There are other linebackers that don't move so well. And my
So
thing
it's dudes with agility. It's got to be dudes with agility.
yeah, basically like
But not even just agility, B. Not even just agility, because you mentioned this before, B.
change of direction.
That side, change of direction, size and weight matters,
Weight matters.
in next gen.
So if you a linebacker that is
matters.
bulky,
So-
weight, height, and those everything,
So-
all those elements play a factor in the game, which is a
So
beautiful thing.
Devin White is probably going to be somebody who can move. Roquan Smith.
Those guys do that.
Exactly.
That guy like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, those guys,
exactly.
the guys that are supposed
Yep.
to move can move. If you want to
Yep.
be honest about it, like there's
Yep.
certain
Probably
guys-
the rookie for the Cowboys. He's probably going to be able to
Parsons
move.
will be able to move.
Yep.
You know,
Yep. Parsons
so-
gonna be able to move. Yep.
And
Mhm.
dudes like I want to say like Anthony Barr probably ain't going to be able to move as much.
Not as much. But they're the linebacker play isn't bad in my opinion. It's realistic. Like you can't cover 3 routes like you could in previous Maddens, where you can just cover every route with a linebacker or put a sub linebacker. Even if you put a sub linebacker there, it's kind of difficult to do. But
Yeah, that's what a lot of people, even in the in the Twitter feeds and everything else, that's what they want to see. They want to see you be able to take a middle linebacker and cover 3 routes, and that's not realistic.
No, it's not.
You really couldn't expect next gen to go that route. You know what I mean? It wasn't gonna happen.
Okay.
It depends on what those routes are, though. Like if you have 3 routes going all to the same spot, and then dude complain, oh, he covered all the routes. Well, they're all going to one
To the one-
spot.
yeah,
Like,
one
that's
area.
totally different.
Yeah,
Like,
but if you
if
if
he's
you
going from a
commit to one
corner
spot,
route to a post to a drag, yeah, that's a little.
So, yeah.
right. That's what I'm saying. Basically, in a nutshell, if you commit to stop one route, it's going to be hard for you to get to that other route, and that's realistic.
And definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
And like I said, and everything in this game is based on anticipation. So if you one of those dudes that are throwing before your receiver makes his cut, or throwing, you are going to have a field day because a lot of people are going to jump things, and if you're throwing ahead of the time that the receiver makes that cut, receiver's going to accelerate into the ball, and you're going to get a first down. You're going to be able to move the ball real easy. Like it's like moving the ball down the field on next gen. People say it's easier. There's no defense, but in reality, there is defense. They just don't want to they don't know what not to give up or what to give up. They'll give up. They're so busy trying to take away what they're used to taking away. And in reality, people are killing you with the flats. People are killing you with drags. People are killing you with curls. People are killing you with all these things because you're used to running one particular defense and it covering everything. And that's not what it is in next gen. And that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing. If you be talking about simulation football, I'm not talking about sim style football, but I'm saying it's a simulation football game. The X's and O's should matter. I think it's a great thing. I think it's a great thing. So,
Sure.
What another thing that I noticed too was the receivers route running. We watched that yesterday, and we were labbing yesterday. And we watched the difference in the receivers' route running. One receiver may run a route a particular way, and it may be precise and perfect, and he may get open. And another receiver who may have less route running may run that exact same route, and it looks completely different.
Looks like a 7-cut and a banana cut.
Yeah. It looks a little weird. So that is something else that's gonna take time getting used to because you may be used to throwing it a particular way, and the ball or receiver arriving in position to catch the ball a particular way, and now it's a bit different. So
Mm-hmm.
I know Philly guy enjoyed that part of the game, especially if you playing press coverage. The reroutes are crazy. If you reroutes are crazy. The chucking the receiver as they come across the middle, that's something else that could be a huge benefit if players actually utilize that feature. When receivers cross your face, that's what they do in real life. You're allowed to chuck them within a certain yard radius or whatever. But if you chuck those receivers and as they cross your face, because in real life that's what backers are taught: receiver cross your face, chuck them, knock them off their route, mess up the timing of the quarterback and things like that, and they give you that ability in the game. Most people aren't going to utilize. Yeah, most people aren't going to utilize it. It's something that's there, but they don't really utilize it. But if you utilize it, and they don't call PI if the ball isn't out yet, so you could actually abuse a receiver until the ball is out of the quarterback's hand. Just run like literally just stick him and hurt him in the head. Like
you know what? I thought at one point, man, in the beta, a couple games that I've played, man, like when I see guys running drags all day, I would cover that drag. I kid you not. There's been a couple times where I just literally just tackled the dude.
Nah, literally.
And they didn't call nothing.
They didn't call nothing.
They didn't call nothing. Like, I just knocked that dude. I just knocked that dude out. So who you going to next? And I know you was gonna go to him.
Now imagine
so here it is.
Snipes, imagine you doing that, and then at the same time my routes is all blurry.
Oh my gosh, man.
Lose my mind.
my wide receiver got a question mark over his head. Like
don't know where he's going.
You don't know what to do. You are like, yo, what the hell?
Man. I think
listen. Plays for here on out.
I think that feature right there that you're talking about though too, where your wideouts get discombobulated. You know what I mean? In a tight situation, and you ask him to go on a streak,
and he pointed at his helmet like, "Yo, I can't."
I can't. You want to end up doing a curl? They're gonna be, people are gonna get so frustrated.
That ball gonna go 30 yards past where the receiver just stopped.
Gosh. Oh my gosh!
Brian, come on now, Brian. You cannot let both of them talk about the routes getting wonky when you know damn well when your receivers start disappearing on the field and you can't hot route them dudes.
Hey,
at first you can't hot route one dude.
You sound like you're.
Then you can't hot route two dudes.
Yeah.
Then
Billy,
you can't hot route three dudes.
Billy, you look like you're like talking through a Bruce Lee movie. Like the words are coming out your mouth before your mouth starts moving.
He's a little delayed.
But no, I get what you're saying.
Hey man, look, it's good to be home. I don't even know what that's about.
Hey, we can hear him. That's all that matters.
I don't even know what's happening right now.
We can hear him. We can see him clearly. It's all good. No worries.
I'm just saying the route thing. You know what? That's a problem. But when I can't hot route my receiver, and I don't even know what his icon is anymore, and it starts disappearing one by one.
I'm gonna tell you this. I don't know if you play on Xbox. Why the farthest receiver is always circle on Xbox. Xbox is always B, and on PlayStation is always circle. If you
that's not always true.
If you're on this side,
that is not always true.
That's what I know.
Always true.
Not always true.
If all else fails, and I'm looking at that receiver, he got a question mark over his head, I'm pressing the furthest button to that side on my controller, and
that's not always true. Like there's certain formations where like the buttons will switch for whatever reason.
Yeah, that's true.
No, he is. You are right in that regard, but obviously at that point you got to use your common sense and say, okay, so X is not. X ain't on the screen.
X is the only button that's not on the
that
screen.
Means that that's X.
Throw it to X. But everybody's like, I can't handle that pressure, man. It's killing me. Like, man, come on.
But see, here's
process of elimination.
If you haven't played,
the red wire.
if you haven't played against that momentum thing, see, that's the problem. You don't know which receiver you're gonna lose. You don't know which one you're gonna lose. You know what I'm saying? So when you pick that play and that play art, you better know who's supposed to be running what route. And if you had a hot route in mind, forget about it.
Definitely.
Forget about it.
Yep. Definitely.
Forget about it.
Yep.
Forget about it.
There are times where you go to hot route and there is only one receiver to hot route on that.
You better hope it's the one that you need.
That's it, because it'd it'll be like your tight end, and the only hot route available to him is a curl. So you like, okay, then you got to keep on hot routing him, and keep. I'm like, sometimes when they say hot route right, out right or whatever, you got to do it in to make it go right. You know, just learning how the game works.
Right.
So it's certain ways around the little mishaps that happen during the game, but it's huge. It's huge.
It is for sure.
Another thing I want to talk about was the O-line and D-line interaction, man. O-line and D-line interaction. I think that's a huge topic of conversation when we're talking about going into Madden 22. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention. I don't know if you guys have checked out, just certain things that we've been privy to by playing the beta and things like that. But have you guys been paying attention to O-line and D-line interaction?
There's been some things that I've seen that can be suspect from time to time. There's like in certain situations, like when you go no huddle, all of a sudden, let's say you go no huddle. As far as what I've seen so far in games that I've played, if I go no huddle and I notice the person's running the same blitz, and I just got done blocking that blitz with no problem, then when you go no huddle, next thing you know, on the same side that he's supposed to be coming around, all of a sudden it gets through. You know why? Because now all of a sudden they want to double team. Same play. They want to double team. They want to double team the defender, the D end, and allow somebody on that side to just get in. And I've seen that numerous times. I was a little disturbed about that. And obviously it's stuff like we talked about earlier, it's stuff that's got to be fixed. But that's just one little thing that I've seen a couple times playing some some next gen online games.
What about you, Philly? Look at you, got that stupid smirk on your face. Look at
it. Hey man, look, somebody asked the question, does the front seven matter? It absolutely does. Everything Snipes is saying is legit. And there's no doubt that if you know how to do it, and I don't know if you want to give out that particular tip, Mr. James, but if you know how to do it, okay, you too can be Aaron Donald. You too can be Aaron Donald if you know how to do it. But I mean, you're
talking about that.
It's so much.
I'll share that.
Yeah, I'm talking about that particular.
I'll share that one.
Right, but I'm just saying, like, all of that matters in this game. Like Snipes is 100% right. Like, hey man, you better line shift. You better call out the middle linebacker. You better make sure, you got your hot route, your read. You better make sure that you're not running the exact same play that you just ran. Because
people assume you can't run the same play. Now this is the thing, you can run the same play, over and over and over again. That doesn't mean that it's good. Your defense is just automatically going to say, "Oh, we know this play now. We'll just cover everything." No. What happens is that people run the same play over and they hot route certain things, and if you move something, the play becomes a totally different play. If you get what I'm saying, so that like when you do things in this game, you can motion somebody out, you can hot route somebody in, you can do something different, and now the play is a totally different play. Maybe not in the sense of somebody you're playing against watching the play art pop up on the screen, but what I'm saying is that or the previous play thing or whatever. But in the sense of the person that is controlling the play, they are watching and adjusting their offense according to what it is you do, and that is still available in the game. What I will say is that now certain coverages play certain routes tougher now in that sense. Now if you like a lot of schemes that people ran last year, the safeties don't dummy out, the quarterback could roll out, they are not leaving that receiver anymore. They are not leaving the receiver. Like, you can press the button and sometimes they don't even react until he crosses the line of scrimmage. So that's something that I like, kind of don't like. I like it in the sense that they stay with the receivers, because you shouldn't just abandon the receiver if the play is still in motion. But the thing I don't like is that you can't control who goes after the quarterback. Now, if they had a button you can click, you can double click an icon or something, and that would send that guy or this particular guy, or you could whoever your spy is to go after him, then that'd be different. But that's something that I think would be great to be added to the game. I thought it would have been great to be added to last year, and that would have eliminated a lot of the rollout.
Or any other years prior.
Yeah,
But
prior,
go on.
so that would have eliminated the whole crash, the whole defense chasing like, oh, he's scrambling, crash, go after the quarterback, and everybody says, okay, coach, and they just all leave their receivers and go after the quarterback like you ran committed. Then, that's a little stupid. But they've taken that factor out of the game to a certain extent. I remember everybody liked to run those delayed fades.
That's dead.
At the latter part of the game last year. That's pretty much that was dead in next gen last year. 21 Madden next gen, but that's definitely dead in there. So if that's your offense, that's what you're relying on. Kind of out of luck, buddy. But yeah, you have to run some schemes.
But how do you like that D line though?
Oh yeah, back to the D line.
Because you haven't shared the insight. You haven't shared the insight on the D line. I mean, you pretty much rock with all 32 teams.
Yeah.
So you're a subject matter expert at this point. So break it down.
Certain things I'm not gonna say because some of these things may still be in the game when the game comes out, and if it is in the game when the game comes out, I want to be able to use it. So I'm not gonna talk about that. I may share it may be a Madden Underground secret that we keep in house, where the guys at Madden Underground know, but the other people don't know. But yeah, definitely. You may want to make sure you practice getting to the practice mode and practice all facets of defense and learn all the things that you can possibly do. Watch all the YouTubes you can watch all the everything. Anything that's available to you, any source of information that's available to you if you're trying to be good at Madden. Exercise. Watch all the podcasts we do. Watch any podcast you can watch. Listen to the Dev podcast on Spotify when they do theirs. But all those things are going to come into play. All that knowledge comes into play because they're all little gems that can be implemented into your game plan in the long run. And, you may be able to take your game to the next level and maybe be one of those guys winning the belt or something like that this year or this upcoming year. So I'm not gonna divulge. I know what your Philly's talking about, alluding to, but I want to wait and see. It's a beta. May not even be in the game. We get people hyped up about just doing some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah,
see how that goes.
But how do you like the overall line play though?
I like it.
How do you like the overall play in the trenches? Okay.
I like the interaction with the O line and D line. I like how aggressive the O line is on run plays. Those guys are kind of scary.
That's what I noticed.
Yeah,
the
most. O-line on run plays, my gosh, those dudes get out and they are looking to hit somebody.
It looks like they're going to go hit somebody instead of veer off at the last second and then leave you in no man's land.
They are looking to hit somebody. I'm talking about tight ends down the field or just they get you and they got you and they holding on to you.
It's a lot of pancaking going on.
It's a lot of hard hitting. Like I said, weight and height matters. So dudes that like to run the 3-3-5 sub packages and things like safeties in the box and things like that. Sometimes you got to throw that aggressive run blocking on, and it might get real nasty out there. It might be blood and guts everywhere for that defense if you want to run them kind of packages. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's you want to put those little dudes on the field. Hey, throw that aggressive run block on. Let them pay. You ain't got to keep it on. Throw it on once or twice, get a holding penalty or two, but turn it off sparingly and let them know that you're not for play. You want to come out here with them little dudes, we gonna punish them, and I mean like they get punished. So that feature I actually like. I love that factor. Have we noticed any busted coverages, and where can you find the Madden Underground ebook when the game drops? That is a question from Dimes. He's putting together an ebook for you guys. Madden game pleasure and improvement. We'll also be doing tutorials with a couple of the players that we have and things like that in our Discord. And it's all confidential. You don't have to worry. It's a safe place, safe space for Madden players where you can come in and learn. And we won't even air you out. Those people like, oh, he was in my class. I taught him that. I own him. He's my student. He's my protege. No, you gotta worry about that. You gotta worry about none of that. We gonna get you, spring you up to speed, get you right, get you prepared, and things like that. And we got some things coming. We got some commissioner seminars we're going to be doing. We bring a few commissioners in, bring them up to speed, coach them up, get them out there, make them have great leagues, and things like that. So we got a lot of things coming up. So make sure you guys keep it locked. And we'll have fun with it, man. Another thing I'm going to talk about with you guys. I don't know if you guys heard Serious Moe retired. He said he's retired. Said
I did hear that.
he's going on to bigger things, better things. I wish him the best. He's been a great player. He's the first guy I seen just win two tournaments in the same day, a live event, on the same day on both Xbox and PS4. Walk around with two big old checks. He had two big old checks in the lobby of the hotel at the tournament. Seen him do a lot of great things. Mo's wish him the best in his endeavors. He said he's going to get a job. He's moving to Florida to work a job, and I'm just assuming that not official, but I'm just assuming that it might be an EA job. That's just you moving to Florida to work a job. That could be he may be working for EA. That's what I would assume. If it was a decoded message he was trying to put out there. I'm just gonna assume that. Can't wait to find out if it's true or not. But how do you guys feel about Moe retiring?
I'll go first. I think it's a sad day for the competitive community. Moe is easily, I would say, probably a top 8 guy ever.
I say
play the game.
Top 4.
Top 4.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I think he won the first belt in the MCS era with that draft champions win, and then he finally got a belt. I think literally last Madden 20 with playing with the Cowboys in the Regs tournament. Yeah. He's always been one of the guys he's always been tough at the game, and sad to see him go. And hope him the best in his future endeavors.
In my opinion, if EA had never went the MUT route and it was always Regs, Moe would have won a lot more belts. In my opinion, I just feel like he's one of those players that's somewhat of a purist. He played it at a high level for a long time, and he's one of the Madden purists where you can actually appreciate the way he plays, and you don't feel disrespected when you lose to him.
Who do you think like if EA never goes the MUT route, we stick with Regs?
Oh my!
Who do you think got hurt? Who do you think got hurt most by that move? Like, who do you think was super dominant on Regs and then they went to MUT? They just never translated.
I'm not gonna say never translated. I'm just gonna say that
didn't have the success that you thought they would have. Like, let's put it that way.
I thought, in my personal opinion, you go Regs. I think Skimbo is that dude, like, a lot longer. Even though he still has success, but I mean, like,
yeah, I think he's tied with the most belts in MCS history. I think Problem. Problem got hurt by the MUT.
Those are my two guys. Yeah. Skimbo and Problem.
Mm-hmm. Skimbo, I think Skimbo, Moe. We never go the MUT route. We keep it Regs. There's no superpowers. You don't have Magneto out there throwing the ball. I think Skimbo, Problem, Moe, and I think it's you don't even hear a lot about any of the lot of.
Then everybody else,
and it's close between those three.
Yeah,
it's close between those three. Realistically, it's close between those three because all three of them, if you keep them in Regs and no superpowers as you stated. Yeah, those three right there, top of the charts.
And my thing, no doubt. My thing is this too is, reason I say Moe is because I watched Moe go into like heinous environments, like grimy environments, and come out on top. Like you can drop Moe into any tournament in any city, and he has the composure, the wherewithal to come out on top of with a victory. And that's a lot. A lot of dudes can play at home, but when you got a live face-to-face tournament, you got 7 dudes talking crazy to you because you playing their best friend. They got money on it and things like that, and you sit up there. I'm talking about like intimidating characters yelling at you or talking crazy to you and betting, and then you're betting money at the same time while you're playing because you're that confident in your game. Yeah, I like Moe. Like I've witnessed what he's capable of, and it was great. Like I'm honored to even be able to say I watched him play. He was one of the guys I watched play. Problem, I got to see Problem, come up through the ranks and things like that and make his run. He had a magnificent run too. He's another one of those guys. And I think that's Problem and Moe I'm not sure about Skimbo. Skimbo's more like an online dude. I haven't had the opportunity to watch him play at a live event outside of the MCS events. I saw him play at the MCS events where he actually won the
I
belt.
know. I know he used to do like all the Gamer Saloon stuff.
Yeah.
Like I said, I wasn't there for those. So but I've never seen a Madden game where Skimbo wasn't good at it.
No, yeah. Skimbo. Like I remember when the DFL was throwing a lot of tournaments on PS4, and they had on the Facebook groups, and Skimbo was winning all those tournaments. It was him. It was Skimbo. You have I think who else was winning them? It was Skimbo. You had Bam winning a lot of those tournaments. Who else? There's a couple other cats that were winning a lot of the online tournaments.
Joke.
Nah, he didn't play in them. I never seen Joke playing a DFL tournament. Like the grimy.
All right. Well, regardless.
But Joke is good. He's good. He's good in this era. This era. But you can't take anything away from Joke either. Joke's winning. Like he's won. He's won in this era. So as of right now, he's one of the dudes at the top. He's a top tier dude.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Dreeny's a top tier dude. I think like I said, Dreeny and Joke, this is their era right now. This is the time they're in their prime.
Yeah, it's yeah.
So,
They the new one. They the new come ups now.
any tourney,
we got
Right, but
we got tourneys coming up.
but
man.
see, here's the thing.
Stay tuned.
Here's the thing. And you already touched on it, Brian. When you talk about Moe and Problem, right? And you talk about seeing cats come up and going into heinous environments and competing. It's just a whole different atmosphere. And it doesn't mean that Skimbo or Drini or anybody else, might not have been successful in those environments. They just didn't have the opportunities. But when you come up in those environments and you're playing against the Madden greats and you're coming up through the ranks like that, it's no different than any other sport that we see on TV. They earn their stripes and they have that special talent. They have that special skill. And I hope you're right about Mo. I hope you're right that he's going to have an opportunity to work with EA and bring us a better game, because anybody that's accomplished what he's accomplished, that's come up the way he's come up, that's been there, that's done that.
I'm not saying
EA
it's true. I'm hoping.
would be
I feel
very
if
wise.
he was going to
I know, but I'm just
EA.
saying. I'm like, they need to do that. Like that's what you need to do. You need to capitalize on the legends that are available to you, that are out there, to take advantage of the love that they have for the game, and just and just pass it on. Like, having a Hall of Fame is important. Having a Hall of Fame is important. Like, you're doing all these tournaments, B-Guard is talking about Gamer Saloon, he's talking about belts and everything else like that. But, you and Snipes and me, okay, when we start talking about Nationals 3, people are like, what are you talking about?
Nah,
They don't understand the MCS, what that community was and how it got here, and what a lot of these players, these cats are trying to capture. But all of that is part of Madden, and all of it is part of the competition, and all of it needs to be recognized for the era that it's in. And Mo is one of the greatest ones to do it. So hopefully he's going to EA. They're taking advantage of him. But if not, I mean, he's done everything that you could possibly do. He deserves the respect.
What I appreciate,
and he should go into the Hall of Fame. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. First ballot.
One thing I appreciate about Mo, like I said, is he's one of those guys who didn't need the exploits to beat you. Mo just beat you. You know what I mean? He beat you, and then you understood why you lost. Like, oh well, dang, I should have did this. He didn't go to take the low route where he knew all the exploits, but he didn't have to go to those things to beat you and win. And like I said, like when you see a guy who's a first class gamer, like he's in my opinion, when you come to class within the Madden gaming community, he's one of the first like most first class dudes I've seen. Him, Skimbo. I watched Skimbo play live. I actually won a belt live. I watched Problem play live, and it's great. They're all great players, and when you talk about, you got to start the conversation with those guys. Like they've done it for so long. They've transcended eras and generations, and year after year, these dudes have been competitive, and they can take a break and come back and be competitive and things like that. And that's when you say, okay, these dudes are tough. It don't matter what Madden game you throw on, they're gonna be good at the game. So
Yeah, and I just want to point out real quick. So I have a little beef with EA, and there's no place anywhere where you can go and look at past Madden champions on anywhere. Like that's a huge problem. If you want to grow this, you need to like in 10 years, like after Moe's has stopped playing, and there's nowhere to go look to see who the past champions are, people are gonna forget about it.
Yeah.
And it's hard to win in anything, be so good at something, to be recognized with a belt or a title or a trophy, and then have nowhere where you could go look that up. Like that's a shame to me.
No,
like
You mean like Madden Underground? You mean like Madden Underground? It should be on Madden
like
Underground?
Madden
Is that what
Underground.
you're saying?
Madden Underground, yeah.
Okay, I know a couple people over there. You know.
Yeah, like we need
know a few
some
people.
Yeah, like put some his historic stuff, Like
Yeah.
I think it's time.
like EA, that's a
The
like
Madden Legends. Yeah,
like the
Madden
MCS,
Legends.
like you got the MCS era, you got that before that with the Virgin Gaming and the EA and the bus and all that. Like,
But that's
put
stuff you have to go look up on YouTube. There's no EA has no link where you can
I know the champion. I
literally-
know one guy who's won it, and that's problem. And I don't know the others.
Yeah.
You literally should be able, every single year, you literally should be able to turn on your Madden console game and go somewhere, even in that Madden console game, and look up past champions. I mean, you push MCS all the time. You push MCS like crazy. You know what I mean? When MCS time comes about, you know what I mean? You want people to Here's the thing, and I guess you could kind of call this a tip for the the Twitch community or whatever it may be. You know what I mean? If you do something like that, now you're gonna get your audience even bigger on Twitch when these MCSs come out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you look at games, for example, like when you look at Call of Duty tournaments, League of Legends tournaments, NBA 2K tournaments, all these different type of tournaments, they have an area that you could go look at champions in the past.
Yeah.
They don't have that in Madden. If they had that in Madden, people would know and recognize these players. And now, you know what I mean? Even the guys, and think about it, even the guys that they have commentating for them, right?
That you don't even know who
some of these guys are champions. You don't even know who they are.
You don't even know they're champions. Like that's the thing. Like
exactly.
It's like, and that's the thing. Like you don't even know some. Like nobody knows that Rico was actually good at the game at one point.
And good at the game.
Nobody knows that. They just think he's an old dude.
That's the thing. That's my thing. Like if I'm watching this for the first time. Why the hell am I gonna care who Skimbo is? Why do I care who Rico is? Why do I care who T Davis is? Why do I care who Mo is? Why don't there needs to be something they can do.
You know who I think got the shortest end of the EA stick ever? I think Curly Top did, because Curly Top.
Yes.
Curly Top. They threw him to the wolves, right? They threw Curly Top to the wolves.
Bro.
They didn't give you no background on Curly Top. They didn't give you nothing. They just let Curly Top go out there and do his thing because they knew who he was, but they didn't explain to the community who he was.
Yep.
You gotta always explain to your audience who somebody is. You don't know who's tuning in for the first time.
Curly Top was hosting and commentating over the biggest Madden tournaments ever. His voice was known in the Madden. His voice rang bells in the Madden community. So when they had
the Madden challenges in the in all the cities, he was at every city. He was at every city, man.
So when he come out there and nobody knows that, because that was 20 years ago, 15, 20 years ago. Nobody knows that now. But when you introduce him you have to reintroduce him. Show those clips. Show those highlights.
Exactly.
Like I just said, you always got to introduce people because you don't know who's watching for the first time.
Yeah.
You gotta make me care about who Skimbo is or who Curly Top is. You gotta make me care. Otherwise, he's just some dude who's on this thing that I'm watching for the first time.
Because I remember watching Curly Top was out there hosting. He had the little gold chain on, and people was like, "Oh, who the hell is this guy? Who does he think?" And it was like, that shouldn't even have been a question. That shouldn't even have been a question because if you watch Madden Nation, If you watched anything, you had to have seen that dude. If you went to a Madden challenge, you had to know who that guy was. If you played in tournaments, you knew that he was one of the dudes capping the most, talking the most craziest talk at the tournaments and winning. Like, so it was like, yo, when you talk about Baltimore Madden ballers, you couldn't mention Baltimore without mentioning Curly Top.
Curly Top, yep.
You know what I'm saying? So it was like, come on, bro. Like that's I think EA, you got a lot of suits, you got a lot of cats that ain't really privy to it or came in on the back end and things like that, and they don't really know the history of what's going on with some of these players and some of the people that's paved the way. When you say you see how relevant they are when you go back and do your history on them. And like I said, it's like even Big Grocery, man. Big Grocery was doing all the ATL. I don't know why he is not commentating for EA right now. Big Grocery,
he should be.
Big Grocery should be
sure.
commentating every EA event, because prior to EA doing this stuff, he was the only face we saw commentating.
Yep.
Prior to this stuff, he was the only face we saw commentating, and that's why I said, like, you got cats like, and I get it, they want the guys that are relevant, but I'm like, yo, you can't just totally omit what these guys have done prior to, just because you guys have a bigger budget and you guys want, and I'm like, Big Grocery ready to go. He I don't know if y'all seen Big Grocery lately. He's not Big Grocery no more. That dude is ready for TV right now. He's slim. He ready. He fresh to death now. I'm like, yo, like, okay. But yeah, Big Grocery definitely one of those dudes that need to be doing something and commentating. Mm-hmm. He's definitely a huge supporter, and he loves the Madden community. So he definitely I want to give a big shout out to Big Grocery, bro. But
big shout.
Yeah, like
Brian, I gotta. I didn't want to say it, but I mean, I gotta say it, just because we're talking about the history of everything. For people that don't know anything about that era, don't know, who Curly Top is or anything else like that. What people need to understand is, there's a lot of names that built the MCS community, and EA selected Top because of the respect that he had in the community. So when EA was trying to get everything off of the ground, we would go and we would support these dudes because we knew these dudes. We were supporting them. We were showing love, whether we were participating or not. We were showing love. And when you start naming the crews on the East Coast and the West Coast, I'm just saying, like, it was a community. It was really a community, and we were really trying to see and take it there and take it to the next level. So, I couldn't agree. I couldn't agree more with you, B-Guard, Brian, Snipes. We've lived through it. We've gone through it. There's so many names that are out there that should be a part of this on so many different levels. And unfortunately, if you don't know, you're missing out. But again, hopefully this is something that Madden Underground will be able to present, because it's important for you to know those that came before, so that you can have the dreamies, winning championships and being marketed to you that way, because it all started somewhere. And I know I was blessed to be able to see it, and see a lot of talent and be part of that, when it was growing. So, it's so powerful. Like, you guys are underselling it just a little bit. But it's real. It's 100% real. And
I'll end on this. And then whatever you guys want to talk about, we can talk about. Imagine going on NBA.com or NFL.com and you can't find a list of champions. You can't find a list of who won a Super Bowl or who won the NBA title or anything like that. That's what EA is doing right now. And to me, it doesn't take a lot of effort to put a list of the champions, or like who won it in 2016 or who won it this or won that. It doesn't take that much effort. So to me, it's either you haven't gotten to it yet, or you really don't care about that side of Madden, like that competitive side, and that's a shame, because I guess that's how you build stars right there.
And what you're alluding to as well too, I totally get it, because again, it's just the fact that it doesn't take nothing. It's nothing but letters. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing but letters.
All I'm asking for.
The same way that you can put You know, when they have, when you start a franchise and you go into the records of the franchise, and you can see who had the most rushing yards in the NFL season, who had this, who had that. In your game, you should be able to say, especially for a product that you want people to go out there and compete in on a yearly basis. You know what I'm saying? You should have a list out there on who's the past champions, how many they've won, whatever it may be. You should have all of those on there.
Yeah, what year, when they won it, all that.
Yeah,
I'm not asking you to put a huge. I'm not asking you to do a profile piece on them. I'm asking you to put the names on the damn website.
Everybody thinks RG is just a guy who commentates and you can tweet.
Literally, yeah, that's crazy to me.
That's literally
crazy.
Like, that baffles me. That baffles me. Like they this is what people think. You know, I know who's another guy. Shopmaster. Shopmaster is another dude. I
had no idea. I had no idea that Shopmaster was on the Madden.
He was on the Madden bus.
No, but since he's so big on franchise and sim and things like that, people they fail to appreciate his contributions to the Madden community.
Well, like even C-Jack.
C-Jack, you
I had no idea.
Yeah,
until I saw the episode. I'm like, wait a minute. I had no idea.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yo mama's another dude. Everybody think he's just
well, Yo Mama lets everybody know he was on there.
No,
like,
he gonna let you.
If I didn't see it, C-Jack would have never mentioned it.
Yeah, he would have never mentioned it. But Yo Mama's another dude. People say, oh, he's a clown. He's this and that. Yo Mama he's tough at the game. If you put him in the tournament, he's gonna make it out of a round robin. He's gonna take out somebody that you probably didn't think he could take out. And he's gonna move.
He did that before.
He took out
Carey. Took out Carey. I remember that.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, these are guys that you don't appreciate. You feel because they're not doing nothing now. And it says because half the part of it they don't respect it. That's half the reason you don't see these guys anymore is because they don't respect what it is that EA's doing with the because they know what it was. They know what it was.
You know what though, real quick, just going into the chat here on Facebook, I see Madden put up there says, has everyone ever thought of having a Madden champion on the cover as opposed to an athlete? Just a thought.
I don't think that would be a good idea.
Look, I don't know, man. The same way you could do like let's just say for example, you do it the same way you could do Tom Brady. Yeah, you could do a Tom Brady and a Patrick Mahomes, right? Okay, put your star guy on there. And on the side, put the MCS champ on there.
That would be
something like that.
You know what a good idea would be? Whoever wins the club championship
gets put on there with athletes.
That team gets put on with their star player. Yeah. So like, if the Dallas Cowboys winner wins the whole club series, him and Dak Prescott, or him and Zeke, or him and somebody else, like that would be cool. That would be awesome. That would be a hell of a prize.
That would be something, and people respect it, and people would aspire.
People fight for that alone. Yeah. People will fight. Cats will fight for that alone, bro. Man, you all over the world at that point. Yeah, you all over the world. You all in the you all in the digital game stores, PlayStation and Xbox. I mean, you everywhere.
Think about what that would do for a gamer's career. You could send them on a tour during
my gosh,
game, and they could be out there playing people at the openings or pre-openings, or things like that. That's something that EA should really look into, and that's a great idea. Something as
good that is truly giving back to your Madden community.
I think that might be like somewhere like maybe, and I think it's a big maybe, like down the road, like 10, 15 years from now. Like, I don't know if they'd ever even consider it at this time of day, because I think the athlete's what's going to draw.
Yeah.
The athlete is always going to be the one.
I said include the athlete in there. Include the athlete in there.
Yeah, the athlete.
But then add some. But add
then
something.
They're gonna ask questions. Who's that person? Yeah, I get that, but I don't think EA is like ready to make that guy kind of star. Like, they always get the established guy. Like, the only time I think they put a random dude on the Madden cover was Peyton Hillis, but that didn't go over so well.
But you know what though? But you just said you don't think that EA is ready for that stardom. But if that's the case, then why put a championship on ESPN? Why? guys there. You can see them all over the place. Everybody tuned in. You got
It
millions of
just
people can
goes
see this
back
guy.
because it's a TV deal. It's exposure for the game, and it ain't exposure for the players. It's exposure for the game. They're trying. Like the problem with the MCS, they're not trying to make the players the stars. They're trying to make the game the star.
Yeah.
Like that's how I see it.
And
The game is the star. These are just some dudes playing it.
Yeah.
That's how I see it, and I know that it's because they don't have a list of their champions.
Well, I would look.
Hey,
you know, there's some
if you ain't
bold
yet
statements being thrown out there. Look, I'm not even gonna go that far, B-Gar. Look, you
going too
know,
far down the
you
rabbit
jumping
hole.
off the ledge with your eyes closed.
The game has always been the star.
Look,
It's never been the
I will,
players.
but I will say this. I get it, but I will say this, and Snipes knows this, and anybody you know that likes to collect different things. Okay, you best believe all that cover art we see. Somebody come out with a Madden 22 New York Giants cover. Somebody come out with a Madden 22 New York Jets cover, a Tennessee Titans cover, Philadelphia Eagles cover. You can't tell me, right, that you can't have, different covers. You can't tell me that you got all these damn different MUT cards. You got all these different options, right? And that's what it's all about right now is diversity. You can't tell me
that makes
a
a
good
you
good
can't have
the
diversity.
MCS version, the MCS edition, and you
MCS
should have a gamer.
MCS
You should have a
edition.
gamer
Yep.
on the cover. You should have a gamer on
Yep.
the cover.
Yeah, because
Yep.
that's a
Comes
great
with my
point about
packs.
Philly. That's a great point about Philly. And you know why? Because I see people on Twitter do it all the time. I see all of
All the
them
time.
all over the place. Everybody's
Yeah.
a graphic
All the
designer.
time. All the time.
Yep.
All the time.
Man,
It ain't
Agreed.
hard.
All the time.
It isn't.
I think.
I mean, we got it for the Xboxes, right? We got skins for the controllers. I mean, y'all know how big it is to be able to rep your team. You know what I'm saying? Or rep whatever game that you playing. It's like, yo, I got that Spider-Man PS5, dog. Yo, I got that Gears of War Xbox. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's money to be made, and the people are asking for it. So EA, if you listening, you know what I'm saying? There's no reason to say no. There's no reason to say no. So, get with Brian James because he's been born in this game. He was a little pup. You know what I'm saying? Now he's a big dog. He knows the history. And he knows a lot of the cats that can get this thing right. And that's something y'all want to get in on. Y'all can make money from it, and the community will be happy. Same time.
I was when Lou Tillery was winning belts. I mean, not winning championships, and I was there. I played against Lou in the Elite Eight at the national championship tournament in LA. He beat me pretty bad, but I was 14 years old, 15 years old. So it was like,
yeah,
14,
bro. So it was like I've been around long enough. I'm young enough to be around to keep up with what's going on now, but I'm old enough to be around. I started young enough to playing young enough to be around to know all the old cats. Like I know all the old cats. I played in set rooms with them, things like that. So it's gonna they should do a lot. They should treat the players better. The players should be a mainstay in the game. Tony Romo should have been an announcer. You know how much Tony Romo would cost to announce on this game, bro? That sounds great. Too much. They probably got the money to do it, but
they got the money to do it.
They could also go get like the C or D team from Fox, and people will be like, and then people won't care.
Yeah,
like that's the problem with it. People will love Tony Romo for the first month and then mute him. Like that's what would happen. And you gonna spend that much money for somebody to commentate over your game that people are gonna get sick of over in a month? Because like the guy I want, if we can't have Tony Romo, I'd like Gus Johnson. I think Gus Johnson, like when he calls it, some of the stuff is like he gets excited.
Wasn't he back in Madden 06?
Back in the day, back in the day.
Yeah,
like, I
that's
like Gus Johnson.
Yeah.
Who else is there? You want Joe Buck on there? You want Joe Buck? I'm not trying to get Joe Buck.
Y'all sound old right now with all this technology. You know what I'm saying? If I can see rappers delight. You know what I'm saying? Done by some cats that are bringing you the nightly news and the worldly news and whatnot. You can't tell me that you can't give me the John Madden broadcasting my game. I'm sure they got enough film. They can cut it up. They can put everything together.
It'll
You
sound
know what I'm
all
saying?
weird and
You
spliced
can
and
have you can
stuff.
you can have Madden on this game.
It's gonna sound all
Hey,
weird and
I'm just
spliced.
saying, you know, it's like boom. Look,
Nah,
look,
hey, like,
it can be done.
I'm
It'll
not.
be a tough
done.
acting
Can be done.
advertisement. in
Yeah,
there.
active
Can
to
be
the active.
done.
You know.
Boom. You got somebody drawing on the screen. I'm telling you.
Al Michaels. You know what?
Can
Al
happen.
Michaels
Can be
needs to
done.
come back. Al Michaels.
Oh, definitely.
Al Michaels ain't doing
Definitely.
nothing after this year, right? Anyway, right? He said he's done. He said he's done with commentary,
Yeah.
right? So.
But hey, I gotta split early. I gotta go do something. I will talk to y'all later.
Definitely.
Because the Jazz ain't
All right,
playing.
big guard.
Hey, that's cold-blooded. It's cold-blooded. The Knicks are good for one. The Knicks are good for 1 year.
First round, we made it though. We made it though. We
Yeah,
made
you
it
celebrated
though.
on the streets
Y'all
after
didn't
winning the
believe?
playoff game. You celebrated on the
Hey,
streets.
at least we
New
wasn't
York
the number
come to?
one seed.
At least we weren't.
Hey, man,
Okay,
you
all
made
right,
it.
sounds good.
He said John Madden is disgusted with the game.
Hi,
He
big
does not
guard.
approve of it. Just take the check.
I'm not sure that's the case.
So that's what I'm hearing in the chat. They said,
I'm not sure
Hey,
that's
you
the
need
case.
to try to get him on the show.
Because like
Brian
2 years
James,
ago, they had a thing.
Try to
with
get him on the
EA.
show, man.
Who? John Madden?
I think John Madden, still has a relationship with EA.
Nah, man, they probably got John Madden in like a combustion chamber, keeping him alive. I'm not
Like a.
right.
Wow.
I mean, like,
Wow.
Yeah, and on that note, I'll see y'all
on that
later,
note, yeah, on
boys.
that
I'll
note,
see y'all later.
I mean, like,
No love, man.
I mean, like,
No love.
I think they stopped putting them on the cover for a reason. I mean, I know a lot of people. There's people. I don't know. I'm not even going into that. But yeah, I'm done with the Madden talk. Pat McAfee would be hilarious. Yeah, that would be funny too. But yeah, I think I'm eager for 22. The players, we need to have a Hall of Fame for the players. The Madden players definitely need to have that. We'll probably work on something like that too. We just go through all our data that we have going back from maybe the early 2000s and up to now. See what we can put together. So we can
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, show
Yeah,
some type
nothing
of
wrong with that,
appreciation
man.
for the players, man.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I think
Make it happen.
last year and the year before was the first time I didn't actually see who won, like wasn't present when somebody was being handed their belt. You know, so leading up to this year when the pandemic happened and the year before, leading up to that, I have been going to all the EA events. You know, I was going to all of them. I was getting footage. I saw Skimbo win his belt, different people win their belts and things like that. But yeah, we definitely got to do something, man, to where we can show, you know, at least shed light on it, especially when you got cats like Moe retiring and things like that.
Indeed.
Retiring. So I don't know. Maybe he'll pull a Jordan and come back and play, but we'll see. I think that was a great podcast. I think we covered a lot today without even really planning much. We just
ain't playing.
Talking.
Yeah.
Turned into a whole spill on the Hall of Fame for Madden players. And
Yeah, because much needed, man.
Yeah.
And hopefully EA hears this, man. Hopefully they hear it. Because it's something that it's very much needed, man, for the community. It really is.
Definitely. And next week's podcast, just to give you guys a heads up, we'll be announcing the dates for our leagues, dates for our tournaments, and things like that, so you guys can start preparing. And we'll let you know all the things that are necessary for you guys that want to participate in our pro leagues, our sim leagues, and participate in our tournaments. I know we're gonna have a lot of different crews in the pro league this year, so we're gonna see if we can do something special for whichever crew is able to win the bowl or win the most bowls during the seasons that we have in the pro league. But if you got a crew and you think you and your guys is tough and you want to compete in a franchise, bring your crew over to Madden Underground. We see, you know, put them in there with the rest of the crews and see what's up, man. You know, so.
Suge Knight. All right, Suge Knight.
You know, I'm just saying, man. Just bring them over here. Get you some of this bread. Dimes will tell you the money's good over here, man. The money you get paid right on time. You know, we don't hold your bread, man. I seen somebody saying, "Hey, this dude told me he had to wait till 2 other leagues finish, or he collected money from other leagues to get his money." We don't do that over here. Yeah. Even if I got enough money to cover it, even if I decided I wanted to use the pot as lunch money, I can still cover the pot. without the pot. But it's just like you ain't gotta worry about that. Everybody get paid on time over here. We ain't never had no mishaps with no money. Even when cats was burning cats, I was covering debt for cats. Cats was hitting me up like, "Hey, this cat in your league burnt such and such." I ain't doing that no more though. So if you burn somebody, just get burnt in a bet or something like that, and it's outside of our league or whatever, ain't got nothing to do with us. But a few years ago, I was covering debt for people, just making sure our brand was clean. We didn't have no mishaps and everything on Madden Underground was on the up and up, and cats knew we was legit. So, if you want to come to something, be part of something that's legit, run real organized and things like that. Come on to Madden Underground. And
there you
get
go.
you some of that, get you a franchise experience you'll never forget. So,
sure.
Yeah. Death Row Gaming. So, but yeah, man, with that being said, we'll see you guys next week. We hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. We appreciate Justin, Marcus, Sumster, everybody, Dimes, everybody that tuned in and was vocal in the chat. We appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys come back next week. We'll be talking even more about more in-depth stuff on the game. I know there's something that's coming out. Let me look at the schedule real quick. Next week, what do we have to look forward to? We have Face of the Franchise, which nobody cares about. I don't think anybody cares about Face of the Franchise, but that's what they'll be revealing next week. So we may talk about that a little bit if it's something interesting enough to talk about. But we'll see you guys next week. Anything you guys want to add?
Face of the Franchise.
Oh, that's what you. Oh, that's what you think.
Yeah, I don't know what that
I was like, yo,
about.
do fart on the mic. But,
I don't know what that was about.
I was trying to play it off like he did it again. I was like, okay, I gotta acknowledge it. But I don't know why I think it was me.
Oh, man.
But yeah, so we'll see you guys next week, man. Take it easy.
All right, deuces.
Got me screaming. I popped another. Yeah, I'm too legit. Probably make you quit. Nickel Mike Blitz. QB getting hit. I'm out here giving fits. Defense held a lit. Gunslinger. Dead eye. Boy, I never miss. What you wanna bet? Two ass threats. When you can't detect. Yeah, I'm at your neck. Throwing out of sacks. Watch him hold his breath. Lockdowns everywhere. Head one step.